Okay, let's dive right in. We've got this stack of material you sent over. Seems like a lot of it centers on the book, How to Be a Mindful Drinker.
Yeah, it's a really solid source.
Hmm.
It lays out a pretty clear way of thinking about alcohol differently.
And that's basically our mission for this deep dive, right?
Yeah.
To unpack all this stuff, pull out the really important bits,
Mhm.
figure out what mindful drinking actually is, according to these sources anyway, and look at the practical steps and maybe some of the, well, deeper changes involved, sticking only to what's in this material.
Right. And what jumps out straight away, I think, is how they frame it. It's not just like cutting down or quitting.
Although it could be that.
You could be, absolutely.
Right.
But it's more about seriously boosting your awareness and living with real intention when it comes to alcohol.
And they make a point that it's for everyone, yeah. Doesn't matter where you're starting from with drinking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's presented as totally up to you. You decide what works for you.
You're in charge.
That's the idea. You figure out the role, if any, alcohol plays, and this approach just supports that decision.
Okay, so let's get into the basics. How do these sources actually define mindful drinking? What's at the heart of it?
Well, they break it down pretty simply. It's basically attention plus intention. That's the formula.
Attention and intention. Okay, so attention first. What does that actually look like? Paying attention. How?
It's about really, truly noticing. Noticing the effects,
Mhm.
physically, mentally, socially. How does alcohol actually impact you?
Uh-huh.
And it's about staying present, like right here in the moment. Paying attention to how you feel after, say, just one drink.
Ah, okay. Not just automatically reaching for the next one.
Exactly. Noticing those kind of subtle shifts instead of being on autopilot.
Got it. So that's attention. And the other half is intention. How's that different from just, I don't know, wanting to drink less?
Right. Well, intention is where the active part comes in. It's not just wishful thinking. It's acting with purpose.
Purpose. Okay.
Yeah. It means deciding consciously what role you want alcohol to have in your life, respecting your own limits, and then, crucially, turning that into actual plans.
Plans like
Like deciding where you'll drink, when, what you'll drink, who you'll be with, and really importantly, how much.
So specific decisions.
Very specific. And just like attention, intention is also about the present moment. Planning for the here and now, because that's where you actually make the change happen.
Okay, so it's not just being aware while you're drinking, but actually deciding things beforehand and kind of living with that purpose guiding you.
That's exactly right.
That combination, the present moment awareness and the deliberate planning that's mindful drinking.
That's the core of it, yeah. Bringing those two
Yeah.
together lets you shift from like an unconscious habit to a conscious choice.
No, there's this other idea the sources talk about a lot, becoming who you are. That sounds, well, it sounds much deeper than just changing a habit. What's the thinking there?
It's definitely a central theme. The material suggests that, for a lot of people, especially if maybe they've struggled a bit or tried to change before,
Hmm.
there can be this feeling of not liking parts of themselves. And sometimes, maybe without even realizing it, we use drinking to sort of avoid things.
Right.
Avoid facing our past or worries or challenges.
Like hiding.
Yeah, exactly. Like hiding from ourselves in a
Yeah.
way. Alcohol can become this barrier stopping you from fully, living your own life.
So changing your drinking helps break that down.
That's the insight.
Yeah.
It helps in two big ways. First, you just get back time and energy that alcohol is taking up.
Right. That makes sense.
And that lets you kind of step out of that hiding place and really inhabit your own space in the world. To stop sort of living inside your head and start, well, living right up to your skin.
Wow. Yeah. Reclaiming your energy, your
Yeah.
presence.
And the second thing is it gives you the breathing room, the clarity, to start accepting those bits of yourself you maybe didn't like. You find new ways, healthier ways, to handle difficulties, the challenges you face.
Mm.
They stop being just problems. They become gifts, is the word they use.
Gifts. How so?
Because they force you to grow. They're part of your story. The sources even say you start to wear your scars with pride.
So it's not about becoming some perfect, different person then, erasing the past.
Not at all. No,
Mhm.
they really stress it's about becoming a more you version of you.
A more you version.
Yeah, like seeing life in high definition, they say. Everything's just sharper, more real, more authentically you. It's about finding new ways to deal with life, changing what you can change, accepting what you can't, and letting the real you come through.
That idea of high definition you, I like that. Okay, let's switch to the practical stuff. Part 1 is called Beginning the Journey. Where do these sources say you actually, start?
Well, the starting point often seems to be just acknowledging a few key things from the material.
Yeah.
Like realizing that stuff you thought alcohol gave you maybe confidence or calm or happiness, that stuff actually comes from you.
Right. Not from the bottle.
Exactly. And while, you know, changing your drinking isn't going to magically fix everything,
No magic wand.
definitely not. But you will learn new, probably better ways to handle problems when they come up.
So recognizing you've got the resources inside you already.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah.
Then the very first practical thing is putting that attention piece into action, noticing your current habits. And the key thing here is focusing on what, not why.
Okay, why not why? What's wrong with asking why?
Because asking why can really easily send you down a spiral of blame and shame.
Beating yourself up.
Exactly, feeling like there's something wrong with you. And the sources say that's just not helpful. Focusing on what keeps it objective. Just looking at the facts.
Okay, so if I'm focusing on what am I looking for? What details?
Be specific and really try to be non-judgmental. Just ask, where did I drink? When did I drink? Who was I with? What exactly did I drink? And how much?
And there was something specific about the how much question in the material, wasn't there?
Yeah, good point. For most of those questions, where, when, who, what, you might look back over the last month or so. But for how much, the task is more immediate. Just start noticing and tracking for the next week.
Just counting drinks.
Pretty much. Don't get bogged down in units or calories right away. Just notice the number. The goal is purely awareness at this stage.
And be honest, brave, and kind to yourself while you do it.
Oh, absolutely essential. No judgment, just gathering information.
And this information, this data, helps you challenge your stories. That's what the sources call them. What are these stories?
They're basically the limiting beliefs we tell ourselves about drinking. Things like, oh, everyone drinks this much, or I need a drink to relax after work.
Right, or I just don't have any willpower.
Exactly. Or I won't fit in if I don't drink, or life will be boring. The insight is that these are often just narratives we've picked up along the way, not, actual facts.
In talking about willpower, the material seems pretty clear that just relying on willpower alone is tough.
Yeah, they describe willpower as being like a muscle or maybe a battery. It gets tired, it runs down.
Finite resource.
Finite, exactly. So trying to just grit your teeth and force change using only willpower is really hard work and usually doesn't last long term.
Yeah.
And trying to change too many things at once makes it even harder.
So if you've tried before and it didn't stick, it's not necessarily because you failed or lacked willpower.
Not at all. The insight is, yeah, willpower might help you in a specific moment, a crisis maybe. But long-term change comes from learning new skills and, importantly, setting things up your environment, your choices to make the good decisions easier and the bad decisions harder.
That's a really practical way to think about it. Less brute force, more strategy.
Right. And all this noticing habits, challenging stories, understanding willpower, it all feeds into discovering your why.
Your motivation.
Yeah, your deep down reason for wanting to change. This is the fuel that keeps you going when willpower is low. It takes being really honest and brave and kind to yourself as you look at those habits, those stories, and think about that future you, that high-definition version. What's really driving this?
The book uses Laura's story, the founder of Club Soda, as an example here, doesn't it?
It does. Laura decided to quit just before turning 38, realizing she needed to take control. She felt wiped out at first, but she paid attention, rested, stayed hydrated, and crucially, she deliberately put her energy into things she cared about more than drinking.
Okay.
Within weeks, she noticed physical changes, and after 3 months, she said she felt like an athlete full of energy, motivated by how good she felt.
That really shows how the why isn't just about escaping something bad, but moving towards something really positive.
Exactly. It flips the script from feeling deprived to feeling like you're gaining something much better, which leads us nicely into actually setting your course living with intention.
Right, so this isn't just hoping things change, it's actively getting involved in shaping your life, deciding deliberately how you want to live, what kind of person you want to be.
Yeah, it goes beyond just goals, doesn't it? It's about the way you live.
Yeah.
And yeah, it needs honesty, real honesty with yourself about what you want.
And they mention a tool called the circle exercise.
Yeah, it's a neat idea. You can just imagine or even physically step into different parts of your life, like your relationship circle, your social circle, your work circle.
Okay.
And in each circle, you ask yourself some big questions. Who do I want to become here? What does living well mean in this part of my life? How do I want to feel, think, act?
So making that bigger vision more concrete in different areas.
Exactly. And it pushes you to finish the sentence. I want to be someone who makes the intention really clear.
So once you've got those intentions clearer, the next bit is making plans. turning the vision into, like, daily actions.
Right. And this is where those practical questions where when, who, what, how much come back, but now you use them for planning ahead.
Mm. Like planning for social events, that seems like a big one.
Huge. Yeah, planning how you're going to handle those situations without just defaulting back to old habits.
So what does that involve?
Thinking ahead. Maybe practicing how you'll politely say no to a drink, knowing you can always ask for a non-alcoholic option. Maybe offering to help out at the bar keeps you busy.
Good tip.
Or just knowing it's totally okay to leave if you're not comfortable or not having fun. And the sources stress this. Your real friends will get it. They'll support you.
That's important to remember.
Definitely. You also plan what you'll drink, like actively look into alcohol-free options, check menus online beforehand, be ready to ask for something specific.
And planning how much.
Yep. Which is simple if your goal is zero alcohol, but still needs conscious thought if you're moderating other drinks like sugary sodas or whatever.
Okay, so you make these plans, you have intentions. How do you know if it's actually working? How do you measure progress?
The device is to keep tracking. Track your drinking where, when, how much. But also, really importantly, track your mood daily.
Ah, connecting the dots between habits and feelings.
Exactly. And then, over time, weeks, months, pay attention to the other changes too. How's your sleep? Your energy?
Yeah.
Your confidence? How are your relationships feeling? The progress isn't just about the numbers. It's about how you feel and how you're living.
That broader view of progress makes sense. But, life happens, obstacles come up. How do you deal with those?
Yeah, the material points out it's often the little things, the everyday stuff, that can trip you up, not necessarily the huge crises.
Right.
And while visualizing your goals is great, just wishing isn't enough. You need actual strategies for when things get tough.
Which leads to if-then planning. Sounds simple, but is it effective?
Apparently very effective.
Right.
Precisely because it's simple and proactive. It makes you think ahead about likely problems or triggers and decide exactly what you'll do before it happens.
So the structure is just, if X happens, then I will do Y.
That's it. If this specific trigger occurs, then I will take this specific action.
Can you give a couple of examples from the sources?
Sure. Like if my friend immediately offers me a beer when I arrive, then I will smile and say, no thanks, I'm sticking to sparkling water tonight.
Okay.
Or if I get to the pub and there's nothing decent non-alcoholic on tap,
Yeah.
then I will order a water and plan to head home soon. Or if I feel that stress hit after work, then I will immediately put on my shoes and go for a 10-minute walk.
Takes the decision out of that heat of the moment feeling. Smart.
Exactly. What about the internal side? Building belief. That feeling of, can I actually do this?
Right. Self-confidence.
The sources say it's crucial, but also that it's something you can build. It's not fixed. It involves challenging that little voice that says you're powerless.
Wow.
One way is to consciously compare yourself now to how you were before you started making changes. Acknowledge the progress you've already made.
And they even mention the fake it till you make it idea.
They do, yeah. Sometimes acting as if you have the confidence can actually help build the real thing over time. It's interesting.
What about perfectionism? That seems like a potential minefield on this kind of journey.
Oh, big time. The sources really warn against it. Perfectionism loves black and white thinking, right? All or nothing.
Yeah.
And it sets these impossible standards. So the danger is any tiny slip-up, which is totally normal when you're learning something new, feels like a total disaster.
Like, oh, well, I messed up. Might as well give up.
Exactly that.
Yeah.
Perfectionism can just completely stop you in your tracks.
So accepting bumps in the road and being kind to yourself is key.
Absolutely vital. Self-compassion is like the antidote to perfectionism here.
The sources bring in Anja's story again. How does her experience illustrate setting your course?
Well, Anja worked in hospitality, so drinking was everywhere, part of the job. She felt miserable. Facing redundancy kind of forced her hand.
Right.
And she did something drastic, signed up for the Marathon des Sables, this insane desert race. Not because she was a runner, but specifically to force a major life change. And as she trained for that, cutting down on alcohol just happened. Naturally, her body needed to perform. Later, a health diagnosis reinforced those healthy choices. But she also mentioned how transformative just following basic, sensible sleep advice was: regular bedtime, cool, dark room, stuff she'd ignored before.
That's fascinating. A huge challenge kickstarts it, but then simple, consistent habits become the foundation.
Yeah, it shows how change can ripple out and build on itself, which takes us right into part 2, experiencing change, the impact on health and mood.
Okay, health first. Body, nutrition, energy, sleep. What are the benefits, short-term and long-term, according to this material?
Well, the immediate obvious one, no hangovers, getting your mornings back,
Definitely plus.
huge plus. But then the body itself benefits. Skin looks better, less puffy maybe, often fat loss, though maybe not straight away, lower blood pressure, better cholesterol over time, and reduce risk for various cancers, heart disease, the list goes on.
So this kind of pushes back against that old idea that a little bit of alcohol is good for you?
It does seem to. The sources suggest that, yeah, maybe some studies show tiny benefits for some things, but those are often outweighed by other risks. And you can usually get those supposed benefits from healthier things anyway.
Like exercise or diet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The main advice seems to be question those stories and pay attention to how your body actually feels when you cut back or cut out alcohol.
What about nutrition? How does that change?
Well, the sources mention that sometimes drinking can cover up maybe a tricky relationship with food.
Hmm.
Alcohol itself has a lot of calories. It's energy dense. So weight loss often happens, but it's not guaranteed, not always fast. And sugar cravings can pop up early on as your body adjusts.
Ah, okay.
The main advice is focus on putting good, nourishing food in. Oh, and importantly, alcohol messes with nutrient absorption, things like B vitamins, vitamin A, zinc. So your gut health and your body's ability to use nutrients gets better when you change your drinking.
Liz's story mentioned this, didn't it? Skipping meals.
Yeah, Liz said she used to skip meals when she drank more. Now she eats properly. Though she did find she got a sweet tooth afterwards, which is her next thing to tackle. Shows it's often a process.
Okay, and energy, does it just magically appear?
Not always immediately. It's common to feel pretty tired at first. Your body's adjusting, healing. But after that initial phase, yeah, usually comes a real boost in energy.
And no hangovers means more time, right?
Definitely. Especially weekends. More hours to actually do things.
So what does the material suggest doing with that newfound energy?
Well, if you smoke, maybe quitting, then apparently smoking increases alcohol cravings. Moving your body is a big one. Exercise boosts energy, mood, confidence, can even be social.
And counts as exercise.
Ah, yes. The sources explicitly say sex counts as exercise. Also, spending time in nature, very restorative, good for well-being, great practice for that attention muscle.
Got it. What about Butch's story? That seemed like a big physical turnaround.
Yeah, Butch's story is pretty striking. He was drinking heavily, like a bottle of vodka a day. His liver enzymes were way up.
Wow.
He admitted lying to his doctor for years out of shame. Felt awful, physically and mentally. Tried stopping many times. Finding an online community like Club Soda and a support group was the key for him.
What changed?
He hasn't had a drink since. His health numbers improved dramatically. The physical anxiety eased. But maybe most importantly, he said he rediscovered real emotions, feeling things properly again. He regrets the lost time, but feels like he can forgive himself now.
That's powerful. Not just physical health, but emotional life coming back.
Absolutely. It shows the depth of change possible.
Okay, last one in health. Sleep. This sounds like it can be tricky.
It really can be. Alcohol might knock you out, sure, but it wrecks your sleep quality. You don't get that deep, restorative REM sleep.
Right. Passing out isn't sleeping.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And the paradox is when you stop drinking, your sleep can actually get worse for a while. It's apparently a really common reason people go back to drinking.
So it feels worse before it gets better. What's the advice then?
Practical stuff, mostly. Stick to a routine, same bedtime, wake-up time. Avoid screens, caffeine, heavy meals before bed, warm bath maybe. Write down worries or to-dos to get them out of your head. Keep the bedroom cool and dark.
And if you just can't sleep,
Get up. Don't just lie there stressing. Go do something quiet and boring in another room until you feel sleepy, then go back to bed.
what about drinking dreams? People worry about those.
The sources say they're totally normal, even years later. They're not a sign you're going to relapse or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's your brain processing stuff or maybe highlighting something to think about when you're awake. But they're not predictions, not failures.
And Anja's story came up again with sleep.
Yeah, she found that actually doing the sensible sleep advice, the stuff we all know but maybe ignore, was incredibly helpful for her energy and just feeling good. Shows how basic good sleep really is.
Okay, let's shift to mood. How does mindful drinking affect how we feel emotionally?
This covers the good feelings, but also sadness, stress, anxiety, boredom, all the big ones. For feeling good, the sources make a distinction. There's hedonic happiness, that quick pleasure hit alcohol can give.
The short-term fix.
Right. And then there's eudaimonic happiness, that deeper sense of fulfillment, meaning purpose that comes from living intentionally.
And mindful drinking is about aiming for the second type, but not like giving up pleasure.
Exactly. It's not about being miserable. It's about actively finding pleasure beyond alcohol. The advice is to really engage your senses. Find joy in touch, taste of food, of non-alcoholic drinks, smell, sound, sight. Maybe keep a list of simple sensory pleasures that have zero connection to alcohol.
Rachel's story touched on this, didn't it? Noticing small things.
Yeah, Rachel talked about noticing sunshine on her skin during walks, things she'd missed before. Just putting music on and dancing around her kitchen. Simple sensory joys.
What about the tougher emotions, like sadness? We're often taught to just push that down.
We are. And drinking can definitely be a way to numb sadness or just ignore it. But the sources have this really powerful idea. Leaning into sadness, not running from it, is actually vital.
How so?
It helps you see what really needs changing in your life.
Yeah.
And it's an opportunity to be kind to yourself. Sadness is just part of being human, even though it's hard. Things like journaling, letting yourself cry, talking to friends, maybe getting professional help. Those are the tools. They talk about finding gifts in the darkness.
And Glenn's story reflected that acceptance.
Yeah, Gren shared that he's learned to just recognize negative feelings for what they are temporary. Painful, yes, but they pass. And crucially, because he lets himself feel the bad stuff fully, he knows he'll also feel the good stuff again, genuinely.
Okay, stress. That's a massive trigger for so many people. How does this approach help?
Well, you can't stop the physical stress response, right?
Yeah.
The adrenaline, the cortisol.
Fight or flight.
Right. But the insight is you can change your emotional reaction and what you do about it. The sources suggest just noticing the physical feelings, the tight chest, the racing heart neutrally, just as sensations, without layering on panic or anxious stories.
And instead of reaching for alcohol for that temporary relief.
Find healthier long-term alternatives. Exercise, nature, hobbies, mindfulness practices, maybe even a formal course like MBSR, mindfulness-based stress reduction. Tracking your stress helps identify your triggers and usual responses. It's about building resilience through self-care. You can't always change the stressful thing, but you can change how you respond.
Yeah, Julie had that very direct quote.
Oh yeah, no one else's bad mood makes you drink. Only you. Puts the responsibility squarely back on your own choices.
What about anxiety? People often drink to calm anxiety, but the sources say it backfires.
Big time. Alcohol feels like it calms you initially because it's a depressant. But then comes the rebound effect. The brain chemistry readjusting actually ramps up anxiety later. It's a cycle.
So mindful drinking can actually reduce anxiety over time.
That's the idea. Naturally, as your brain chemistry settles. In the meantime, tips include talking to trusted people, being specific about how you feel, grounding techniques, focusing on senses, breathing, and mindfulness, just observing the anxious feelings without getting swept away.
Okay, boredom. Another common trigger, surprisingly.
It really is. It can be internal, just feeling restless, or external, like nothing interesting is happening. We're often uncomfortable just being bored.
True.
But mindful drinking frees up time and money. You can actually channel that into trying new things, exploring interests. Boredom can be a nudge. You know, a change of scenery helps. And the deeper thing is, as you get more comfortable just being with yourself, boredom loses its sting. You could enjoy your own company.
Zoe's story seemed to fit here, filling the time alcohol used to take.
Yeah, Zoe said alcohol took up so much time and energy. Now she has quality time with friends without drinking, gardens, does yoga, walks on the beach, things she actually enjoys that fill that space meaningfully.
Okay, finally in the mood section, HALT. What's that acronym about?
HLT stands for hungry, angry, lonely, tired. They're presented as really common physical or emotional states that often trigger an urge to drink.
So, on a practical level.
It's simple. Hungry, eat something. Angry, find a healthy outlet. Lonely, connect with someone. Tired, rest. Address the immediate surface level need directly.
But there's a deeper layer to Ashel mentioned too.
Yes, and the advice is maybe explore this later, when you feel more stable, not on day one. The deeper insight is HLT can point to unmet needs. Alcohol was maybe papering over.
Like what?
Like, what are you truly hungry for in life? What longing isn't being met? What underlying anger or frustration is holding you back? What pain? When you're lonely, what do you need connection or maybe comfort with being alone? And tiredness, is it just sleep or a deeper need for rest, self-care, downtime?
So it connects back to that becoming who you are, understanding the real needs underneath the habit.
Exactly. HL becomes a lens to see those deeper needs and find healthy ways to meet them instead of using alcohol as a quick, kind of superficial fix.
Let's bring Ollie's story back here. It seems to cover navigating a lot of these mood challenges and finding solutions.
Yeah, all these stories great. He admitted hiding how much he drank, being the legend while secretly wanting help. Tried moderating, but holidays showed him it was smoke and mirrors for him.
Right.
A key moment was a barmaid actually noticing and helping him find resources. Finding club soda online, doing a course, gave him the practical how-to, learning strategies, planning for events, using stick to the plan as a mantra.
Yeah, planning piece again.
Crucial for him. It became second nature. He found in crises, his automatic reach was for tea, not wine. He loved his first sober, pride, being present, aware, started running for health, huge physical and mental shift, and now talks honestly with his kids.
That really shows the whole struggle, learning, finding tools, building new habits, transformation.
Yeah, it's a process, learning, persistence, getting the right tools.
Okay, moving into part 3. Living as a mindful drinker. A big chunk here is what to drink instead. Shifting focus from lack to abundance.
Exactly. It's about actively finding and enjoying alternatives, exploring flavors, recreating rituals maybe, finding great options for different occasions. It's not about what you're missing, but discovering a whole new world of interesting drinks.
The sources tackled the 0.5% ABV question, the alcohol-free drinks that still have a tiny bit. That causes confusion sometimes.
It does. They clarify that 0.5% ABV is legally alcohol-free in many places. It's 99.5% non-alcoholic. Your body processes that tiny amount almost instantly. It absolutely cannot make you drunk. Safe for drivers, pregnant people.
So the worry about that tiny amount is mostly unnecessary, according to this.
Pretty much, yeah. Some people might still choose to avoid them, totally personal choice. But the sources frame them as a really helpful tool, especially now they're getting so much better and more available. The key is experiment, see what works for you.
And Drew's story supported that view.
Yeah, Drew said he doubts he could have moderated without 0.5% beers. He calls them his new normal. Genuinely prefers them now.
What about actually ordering in bars or restaurants? Can still feel awkward sometimes.
They acknowledge that, yeah, menus are getting better, but it can still be hit or miss. The advice is, look for places that list AF options. Don't be shy about asking what they have. Maybe even offer to help the staff find something. And just having something non-alcoholic in your hand can make you feel more part of things.
The material breaks down different categories: beers, wines, spirits.
Yeah, the AF beer market has exploded. Lots of great stuff now. Many are de-alcoholized, but craft brewers are also brewing to a low strength, which often tastes better. AF wine is still tricky, apparently. Removing alcohol impacts flavor a lot. AF spirits often focus on botanicals, elixirs, because they lack the alcohol kick.
Any tips on making these options feel, well, less like a compromise and more like a choice?
Definitely. They talk a lot about the serve, how it's presented.
Making it special.
Exactly. Look for smaller producers, maybe. Pay attention to temperature chill AF beers and wines properly. Use them in cocktails. Get nice glassware. Use garnishes, fancy ice. Win the glass. Elevate the experience.
Tonics and mixers get a mention too.
Yeah, good option. Often lower sugar than sodas. Feel a bit grown-up.
Yeah.
Look beyond basic tonic. Explore flavored ones. And again, the serve matters. Nice glass, lots of ice, good garnish.
And sodas.
Big brands, often high sugar caffeine. Diversions are okay, but maybe won't magically cause weight loss alone. Look for craft sodas, better ingredients, less sugar, natural flavors. Enjoy them as a treat. Oh, and they mentioned these aren't really for kids.
Shrubs. Never heard of them.
Drinking vinegars. They're actually ancient. Really interesting tart-sweet balance. Made by infusing stuff like fruit or herbs in vinegar, letting it ferment a bit. Seek out local ones, sip them slowly, embrace the sourness.
And things like kefir, kombucha, homebrews.
Yeah, fermented drinks, great for gut health, complex flavors, usually low sugar, low alcohol. Kombucha needs a SCOBI, that weird culture thing, to get started.
So seriously, there's a lot out there beyond just fizzy water.
Oh, absolutely. It's about finding new things you genuinely like the taste of.
Jesse's story fits here, right? Realizing alcohol wasn't about enjoyment anymore.
Exactly. Jesse drank heavily when young, got older, hangovers got worse, nights weren't as fun. Tried a year off, went back to social drinking, but less. Still had slips. Realized the third drink was his tipping point. Slowly drank less, longer breaks, just felt better. Then one day it hit him. He didn't actually like the taste or feeling anymore. It was just habit, unconscious. Now he doesn't need it.
That must be such a freeing realization. It's just a habit I don't even enjoy anymore.
Huge. It's the mindful process in action, isn't it? Attention shows you the reality. Intention lets you act on it.
Okay, let's talk problem solving when things get tough. First up, withdrawal.
Yeah, the material explains how the body adapts to regular heavy drinking tolerance leads to physical dependence. Withdrawal symptoms can range from mild sweats, shakes, anxiety, to rarely severe things like seizures or DTs. They also mention post-acute withdrawal mood swings, low energy that can linger.
And the absolute crucial point here is
If you are a heavy, regular drinker, you must talk to a doctor before stopping suddenly. Seriously. Most withdrawal can be managed safely at home, often with gradual reduction. But stopping cold turkey from heavy dependence can be dangerous. Needs medical guidance. It's often step one, but needs to be safe.
non-negotiable medical advice for heavy drinkers. Got it.
Very clear on that. Highly important.
Okay, next problem. Triggers.
Right. The cues people, places, times, feelings that are linked to the drinking habit. The job is to figure out your specific triggers. Where, when, who, what feeling.
And the strategy?
Three main ones. Avoidance, if it's something you can reasonably avoid. Control, if it's unavoidable, use those if-then plans to manage your response. Or escape, if you get caught off guard, it's okay to just leave the situation. The key insight. Triggers are prompts, not commands. They don't make you drink.
What about cravings? They can feel so powerful.
They can, but the sources describe them as normal thoughts or urges that are temporary. They will pass.
And the strategies? The toolkit.
Yeah, the D's. Distract yourself. Delay ride it out. Know it won't last forever. Disrupt, change your environment. Drink something non-alcoholic. Sit with the feeling underneath. Use mindfulness, maybe HALT. Or talk to someone supportive. Cravings usually pass pretty quickly, actually.
Ambivalence gets mentioned too. That feeling of being pulled in two directions, wanting change, but also wanting the old way.
A very normal part of change. Often means you're facing a tough decision, maybe worried about the cost of changing.
How do you handle that?
One tool is a decision balance sheet. List pros and cons of changing versus staying the same. But don't score it. Just listing helps clarify your reasons for change. They also mentioned the flip a coin trick. Mentally flip a coin on a decision and notice which way you were hoping it would land. Reveals your gut feeling, the insight. Ambivalence is just that moment before the next step. Doing something is better than staying stuck.
The fuck it button, they actually name it. That moment of just giving up and going overboard.
Yeah, often leads back to what they call shitty certainty. That familiar, maybe uncomfortable, but known reality of the old drinking life.
Why do people hit it?
Stress, being tired, feeling worthless, blaming yourself after a slip, maybe fear of the unknown future, even boredom. The deeper insight might be that sometimes that shitty certainty feels safer than the uncertainty of a new way of living.
How do you fight that urge?
Remember your why. Trust today things probably won't suddenly fall apart. Trust your past self. Remember why you wanted this change in the first place.
And despite all the plans, slips can happen. Drinking more than you meant to. What's the take here?
Very clear message.
Mhm.
Slips happen. They're not failures. They're learning opportunities. Don't beat yourself up. Practice self-care. Then analyze it non-judgmentally. What happened? Where? When? Who? What was the situation? Was it a habit? A trigger? The fuck it button.
So slips give you information.
Crucial information about your weak spots, your triggers. Use it to update your if-then plans. Blackouts are information too, not just lost time. And then, just pick up your intention again right where you left off. Don't let it derail you completely.
Karen had that encouraging quote about this.
Yeah, changes don't happen overnight. Down days are normal. You're bloody amazing. Patience, resilience, self-worth.
Annette's story comes up again as a really full example of navigating these problems.
Yeah, and its journey covered so much. Hiding the drinking, looking for intervention while being the legend, trying moderation, realizing through slips it wasn't working for him, smoke and mirrors. Getting help from the barmaid, finding club soda, getting the how-to.
The practical tools.
Exactly. Learning to plan for events, the stick-to-the-plan mantra. It becoming second nature. Reaching for tea in a crisis. Enjoying sober pride, being present. Starting running, the physical and mental transformation. Talking honestly with his kids. It shows that whole cycle struggling, learning from slips, finding support, building new responses.
That link between learning from slips and building new automatic responses seems really key for the long haul.
Definitely. Problem solving isn't just about fixing things when they go wrong. It's part of actively learning and adapting.
Okay, final section. Keeping going. What do the sources say helps maintain this long term?
Well, one idea is that over time, mindful drinking just becomes ordinary, part of who you are.
Yeah.
And they have this interesting reframe. You couldn't actually go back to your old life, even if you tried, because you've changed too much.
Ah, so it ties into shifting identity.
Yeah. Like an ex-smoker becomes a non-smoker. It's not just something you do or don't do. It becomes part of who you are, a mindful drinker.
And how do they suggest embracing that identity?
Tell people. Simply say, I'm a mindful drinker. Turn down drinks by stating it. Be an active customer. Ask venues for options. Show there's demand. Be a trailblazer.
And definitely don't go it alone.
Absolutely not. Connection is vital. Find the others, they say. Seek out support groups, communities online like Club Soda or real-world groups. Find new hobbies, activities that don't revolve around alcohol. Make friends in those contexts.
What if people need help with related issues, relationships, money?
The sources point towards resources for specific things like that. Relationship support, financial advice, help for sexual assault survivors. And they stress consent is essential. Assault is never the victim's fault. And one more time, talk to a doctor about withdrawal before stopping heavy drinking.
So keeping going is about persistence, self-discovery, and support.
Yeah, it just becomes part of your life, ordinary. And that quote they use is powerful. When you started, you would have given anything to be where you are now. A good reminder to appreciate the journey.
Let's finish with Drew's second story. It adds an important perspective, doesn't it?
It really does.
Mm.
Drew calls his story unremarkable. He didn't think he had a problem, wasn't hitting rock bottom. Alcohol had just become this unconscious habit. He found club soda helped him see mindful drinking could benefit him, too. Now he prefers sober socializing, handles anxiety better by being present, feels more comfortable being himself. His point is crucial. You don't need a massive crisis to benefit hugely from examining your relationship with alcohol and becoming more comfortable in your own skin.
That's such an important takeaway. It's not just for people in crisis. It's for anyone who wants more awareness and authenticity.
Yeah, it broadens the whole idea of who this is for. Basically, anyone who drinks and is curious about doing it more consciously.
So, wrapping up this whole deep dive, mindful drinking, based on this material, it's really a path, powered by attention, that self-awareness, guided by intention, that sense of purpose.
And it's not just about stopping drinking or even cutting down necessarily. It's about shedding the stuff that hides you, becoming more authentically you.
Taking conscious control, deciding the role alcohol plays in the life you really want, and finding what works for you.
Exactly. Your unique path.
And knowing you don't have to do it alone. Support's out there.
Definitely not alone. Community is key.
Okay. Based on everything we've dug into today from these sources, here's a final thought for you to chew on, maybe something to explore further. What haven't you been able to do yet?